Now it's time for the Ask Me Anything section of the podcast. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. They're very helpful for us, and I love to hear what you're thinking about. It helps me to understand like what I should include in the readings week to week. So all the feedback is really, really good.
Hi, Chani. I'm wondering if it means anything in particular if your sun sign is the same as your north node. Thank you so much.
Yes, it is so significant if your sun and the north node are in the same sign. It's so significant. It means that you were born around an eclipse, most likely. I mean, you were, because when the sun is in a sign, it will have both a new moon in that sign and a full moon in the opposite sign. And new moons and full moons that happen near a node are an eclipse if they're within a certain degree of that node. So you want to check, you can just Google your year of birth and see when the eclipses were that year and see if you were born close to one. You may have been. But just having your sun and the north node in the same sign, especially if they're close together, like if they're within 3 degrees, super important, I think. But even just having them in the same sign, it means that you have a hunger and you have a desire for self-expression. Now, it depends on what sign it's in. It depends on what house it's in. It depends on everything else that's going on in your chart. But you have a little bit to a lot, again, depending on how close they are together, you have a little of that eclipse energy that you carry with you in your sun sign, in your sun, which is how you shine. It's like, this is part of me, right? The sun is a really big factor in our chart because it's about our life force. And if your life force is by an eclipse point, there's something there that is eccentric. There's something there that is a little energetically erratic. So you could have these weird events that happen to you that kind of speed up the events of your life. Other people might feel you as energetically erratic, or you might feel yourself as like, sometimes I've got tons of energy and then I just fall down. It's like there could be that instability that factors into your life. I do find that a lot of people with the sun near, especially the north node, have that feeling of being like insatiable. And because there's not a ton of consistency, or there's some inconsistency. I mean, we all have some inconsistency, and it's not to problematize it at all, but the inconsistency can be really exciting to the world. You know, like there can be these really wild things that happen every so often, like not every day, but every so often. There might be these events that kind of like speed up the nature of your life or have you getting attention in some kind of way. Because remember, eclipses get our attention. Like, where'd the sun go? What is happening? And you carry some of that energy. Again, depending on if there's like an angle nearby, if there's other planets involved, how close it is. But there's that feeling of things getting ramped up every once in a while. And I would like you to pay special attention to when there's eclipses in that sign. And if you have anything in the opposite sign near the south node, because that might tell you a whole other kind of story. But the north node gives us a feeling of desire and wanting and grasping and being hungry. It's like the hungry, hungry caterpillar. Just like wants more and more and more and more and more. It is insatiable. And so we have to know that about ourselves. We have to be like, okay, well, there's this part of me that's like just insatiable and it's never going to feel satiated. And so I can either be whipped around by that feeling, or I can be like, okay, that's just what it is, but I'm not going to be at its beck and call all the time. But it will help me get a lot done. It's always a mixed bag, a mixed situation. But definitely check out when eclipses are happening in that sign, because you might notice like, oh, this is a really important time for me. And eclipses in general, they happen every 6 months. You might feel like a little extra uptick of energy and like life events, you know, really kind of speeding up, but especially when they're in the sign that your sun and your north node are in. Thank you so much for that question. That was really great. Please, again, let me know what you want to know more about, and it'll help me to articulate those themes more consistently.